bonne vidéo YouTube. Alors, on en était où? « 144 000 par là. Tu vas être où, lui? En fait, j'aurais dû continuer parce que... J'aurais pas dû aller par là. Retourne en arrière. On va faire les quêtes que t'étais parti faire.
Steady, boys! We've got one of them here! Stupid newborn!
Non mais... Moi, c'est déjà à m'attaquer. « 41.
I cannot enter.
Ouais, donc là, à mon avis, c'est pas pour tout de suite.
Show me your power, newborn! Give me your blood!
Oula! Alors, la violence des vulcanes. Ne vous laissez jamais berner par la taille d'un vulcain. Ces grosses brutes peuvent être aussi rapides que n'importe quel autre suceur de sang. Mais le moyen de s'en débarrasser reste le même. Trouer puis clouer leur misérable carcasse au sol avant de leur couper la tête. N'oubliez jamais, tout est dans la préparation et l'exploitation des faiblesses de votre cible. Le problème est évidemment que les vulcans n'ont pas de faiblesse. Ils sont forts, rapides, malins, mortels. Ce sont des machines à tuer avec un seul objectif. Resserrer leurs immenses griffes autour de votre cou. Alors, si vous ou l'un de vos compagnons avez le malheur de vous retrouver face à l'un d'eux, ne retenez qu'une seule chose. Esquivez ses coups, énervez-le. Blessez-le et insultez-le jusqu'à ce qu'il perde son sang-froid. Lorsqu'un vulcain est suffisamment énervé, il est aveuglé par la colère et devient incapable de réfléchir. C'est votre seule chance de gagner, car vous ferez désormais face à un monstre sans cervelle. Profitez-en. Issu de connaître ses ennemis par Reid, commandant de la garde privée. Donc je suis venue d'en haut. Avec une... Il y a plein de chemins. Ok, un mur invisible. Une lettre sale. Je m'appelle Robert Tuesday. À quiconque trouve ce message, s'il vous plaît, j'ai besoin de votre aide. Ma fille Louise a disparu il y a quelques semaines de cela. Elle a été aperçue pour la dernière fois dans un bar du quartier. Pas celui pour lequel elle travaille comme serveuse, mais un autre. The Dancing Trout. Ça fait chelou comme nom. 2 témoins affirment avoir vu partir en compagnie d'un homme élégant inconnu, peut-être un étranger. Il y a beaucoup de rumeurs qui circulent sur la disparition d'hommes et de femmes dans les environs. Je suis persuadée que ma Louise a été enlevée et qu'elle est retenue prisonnière quelque part près d'ici. Je sais que la police ne viendra pas en aide car elle a des affaires plus importantes à régler. J'ai donc décidé de partir à sa recherche de ma Louise tout seul. Si vous trouvez cette lettre, cela veut dire que je n'ai pas réussi à la sauver. Ma Louise est une gentille fille qui ne mérite pas de mourir dans ces conditions. Elle est de taille moyenne, les cheveux bruns et possède une cicatrice sur la joue droite. Je vous en prie, partez à sa recherche et finissez mon travail, que Dieu vous bénisse.
Louise's father was determined to find and save her.
Et là, j'ai une porte à ouvrir, c'est ça? Hop là. Donc, on va vérifier par là. Y'a rien là. Pourquoi tu me fais venir? Pourquoi tu fais un petit passage où y'a rien? Pas un truc à ramasser? Non mais là tu vas pas me faire des petits passages partout.
It's locked. It's locked, all right.
Je vais pouvoir ouvrir peut-être. Non, pas encore. Je vais pas te tuer. Si tu remontes, je ne veux pas. T'es au max en bas là du coup. Ouais bah c'est au max au bas. Donc on va remettre direct, on va y aller. C'est de la triche, totalement. Journal intime récent. Je viens tout juste d'arriver à Londres après un voyage éreintant depuis Manchester. La ville respire la morosité et le désespoir. Cela ne sera pas dur de trouver une femme voulant échapper à la mort ici. J'ai hâte de commencer mes recherches. Bientôt, je ne serai plus vierge. Le 15 octobre 1918. La cellule est prête. Tout ce qui reste à faire, c'est trouver une candidate adéquate et l'enfermer dedans. Elle sera belle, douce, avec un bon caractère. J'ai déjà testé mon pouvoir de persuasion sur quelques femmes. Dans la plupart des cas, cela a marché, mais je ne veux pas que ma future épouse me soit soumise. J'utiliserai mon pouvoir que pour l'amener ici, alors je lui annoncerai ce que je compte faire et je la laisserai accepter. C'est important, je veux que ma belle accepte de son plein gré de devenir ma femme pour l'éternité. C'est un minimum quand même. 17 octobre 1918. Je pense avoir trouvé la partenaire idéale. Elle s'appelle Louise. Elle est serveuse dans une taverne et elle est vraiment charmante. J'aime son attitude quand elle travaille, fière et farouche. Je suis sûre qu'elle acceptera mon offre une fois qu'elle sera mienne. Une fois que mon sang de vampire aura achevé sa métamorphose, son visage guérira comme il se doit et les cicatrices disparaîtront. Elle deviendra alors la beauté parfaite que je suis le seul à voir en ce moment. 18 octobre 1918. Je ne comprends pas. Louise refuse ma proposition. Pourquoi elle refuse-t-elle? Je lui ai promis que je ne la forcerai jamais, à quoi que ce soit. Mais je vais peut-être l'affamer un peu. Alors elle comprendra que je suis sa seule option.
You gonna keep me locked in here?
Miss Teasdale, are you all right?
How do you know my name? Who are you?
My name is Dr. Reid. I managed to track you down thanks to your father.
So my father really was looking after me. This man, this vampire told me my father was dead. Is it true?
I'm afraid so, miss. I'm so sorry for your loss. But you are free to go, as your abductor is no more.
I suppose my jailer also killed my father, didn't he?
Thankfully, he did not search your father's corpse, where I found his notes describing where he might find you. You should read them.
I must find my father's body. He deserves a proper burial.
Je peux pas la soigner.
Goodbye, Miss Teasdale, and be careful. Until we meet again.
Oups. Je suis passé où là?
I can't believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood.
Et puis là.
I hope you can stay a little longer this time.
Oh, I am sorry, I can't help you, sir. Perhaps you should talk with someone else instead.
Good evening, Miss Price. I'm Dr. Reid. Do you remember me?
Dr. Reid? Yes, of course. You are the doctor who healed me and my mum. Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Good to see you too, Carol. Are you all right?
Oh, yes. I did not hurt myself recently. I know how to take care of myself now. I'm almost a grown-up.
Have you ever met the famous Aloysius Dawson?
Yes. A very strange man. Not very nice.
What do you mean?
He said he was ready to pay good money for rare books, and then laughed at what we showed him.
What can you tell me of the people living nearby?
I don't speak to many people, except our customers. It's not easy to make friends. And with the epidemic, it's even more difficult.
Do you need my medical attention?
Oh, please, sir. Do not waste your time with me. There is nothing to be worried about.
Don't be shy. It's my duty to take care of you.
Thank you, sir. Much obliged.
What can you tell me of the people living nearby?
I don't speak to many people, except our customers. It's not easy to make friends. And with the epidemic, it's even more difficult.
What can you tell me about the epidemic?
Some of our regular customers have left London. Some others only send their housemaids now. Everybody fears the contagion. I've even seen men with weapons.
Have you no friends at all?
No. Mr. Nithicut used to pass by and was always nice to me.
Does he not come by anymore?
No. Mum said he was weird. Always reciting poetry about a girl he'd met in Whitechapel. I wonder who this camellia may be.
Why are you awake at night, Carol?
I am helping my mother in her shop. It's not easy, but I'm a grown-up now.
I'm sure your mother is grateful for your help.
I do the best I can. But I'm so clumsy sometimes. I drop things. I injure myself. It's a good thing my mother has the patience of an angel.
T'as l'air un peu...
Why is work
Perturbé.
not easy? Is something or someone bothering you?
Oh no, most people are gentle with me. But I'm so nervous sometimes. I pay no attention and hurt myself. Good thing my mum learned first aid.
Je me suis plantée.
Do you enjoy working with your mother?
Oh yes, Doctor. My mother raised me alone after my father died. We've always lived together, and she has always watched over me.
Do you remember your father?
No, I was just a baby then. My mother always told me how strong and good he was.
Do you ever think about getting married now you're a woman?
Oh no, Dr. Reid. Mum always says I'm still a child who has no idea how tough life can be. No husband would like a clumsy girl like me.
Goodbye, Carol.
Dr. Reid.
I am
I
sorry,
am
I
glad
can't
to
help
see
you,
you
sir. Perhaps you should talk with someone else instead.
Good evening, Miss Price. How are you tonight?
Dr. Reid, I didn't know you had returned from the war. I had a new doctor when you left, but he's not as kind as you.
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying anything from my humble shop.
Do you know Aloysius Dawson?
Everybody knows him. He's only been to my shop once, though, looking for rare books and other intriguing antiques.
Did he buy something from you?
No, he left quickly. He almost laughed at my goods. Mr. Dawson may be a rich man, but you can't buy good manners.
But isn't Aloysius Dawson known for his philanthropy?
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since then, the remaining twin has turned into a heartless tycoon.
Carol's gratitude is exemplary. She seems determined never to leave you.
I'm taking care of my daughter as well as I can. It's not always easy, but she's the best gift life gave me.
But she'll probably leave you someday to live her own life. Will that be difficult for you?
Why would she leave? Children sometimes stay with their parents until the end, for they know no one else will love them as much.
Ouais.
What can you tell me about yourself, Miss Price?
I'm still managing my shop. The only difference is, since the quarantine, we're open at night.
Bonjour, Papa Geek.
You, on the contrary, seem to have
Et
changed
merci
a lot.
de jeter une larque.
Tell me
Comment
more
vas-tu?
about
Si
yourself.
tu restes.
No new fiancé? I remember you were hoping to get remarried. I'm sure you must have a few suitors.
Who would marry an old bat like myself with a grown daughter and a little business? As you know, I only fancy handsome men like yourself.
Mhm.
Really? Have I changed that much? It must have been the war and the night shifts since my return.
Don't get me wrong, Dr. Reid, you're still handsome. Just maybe a little bit wiser, more serious. It suits you well.
Have you noticed anything in particular in this part of town recently?
Other than you coming back to cheer me up? Nothing at all, Dr. Reid.
Do you need my medical attention, Miss Price?
Oh yes, I feel so oppressed lately. And tired and feeble too. Thank you so much, Doctor. You're always so considerate.
I'm just doing my job.
Perhaps. But I have always been grateful for your concern, you know.
May I look at your goods, Miss Price?
It's always a pleasure to have you here, Dr. Reid. Take all the time you need. Dr. Reid, I am glad to see you again.
T'as quelque chose de plus
Good
à me
evening,
dire?
young lady.
My mother always prefers when people simply call me Carol.
Goodbye, Carol.
Good morning. Good evening, sir.
Si on est raté de s'éparpiller un peu partout là. Y a pas de traces de son.
Good evening, sir. May I ask you what you're doing here at this late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
Do you need medical attention, Inspector?
I'm afraid I may have caught something. I don't feel too well.
You'll quickly feel better after taking this.
Thank you, Dr. Reid. I really appreciate it.
What can you tell me about this district?
I'm the one asking questions, especially when there's a killer on the loose.
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with the civilians, sir.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the epidemic to disguise his kills.
And what about the epidemic?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor? Colleagues of mine die almost every day.
What are you really doing here?
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland Yard, investigating suspicious cases in the area.
Do you work alone?
Yes, the situation is difficult for the police. Many of us are sick, and since the summer strike, most men apply a work to rule on their patrols.
What about the situation in the East End? Why are there no police there to protect the civilians?
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to cover the entire city.
Why are you investigating at night?
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are also a night worker, have you noticed anything strange which requires police attention?
Does the name Fergal ring a bell? Fergal Bancher.
Of course it does. Fergal Bancher, the Butcher of Galway. Hung in Dublin in 1857 for murdering more than 20 men with his bare hands. Why are you so interested in dead criminals, sir?
Tell me all you know about that homicidal maniac you're looking for.
I'm not even sure there is only one. The wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sadist cult.
What are you investigating, exactly?
I have a missing woman, possibly abducted a few nights ago. Louise Teasdale. It seems you already found my other missing person, Mr. Tadao Kimura.
Tell me about Louise Teasdale.
She's a waitress. Her father reported her missing. We don't have enough men to search for her, sadly.
Do you have any idea where she could be?
No. But I feel she's been abducted. She went to a pub a few nights ago and vanished. I thought about the sewers, but I'm not equipped for such an investigation.
What are you investigating, exactly?
I have a missing woman,
Mais je
possibly
sais qu'elle est
abducted a few
sortie,
nights
c'est moi
ago.
qui l'ai sortie.
Louise Teasdale. It seems you already found my other missing person, Mr. Tadao Kimura.
Tell me about Louise Teasdale.
She's a waitress. Her father reported her missing. We don't have enough men to search for her, sadly.
Do you have any idea where she could be?
No. But I feel she's been abducted. She went to a pub a few nights ago and vanished.
Do you know anything in particular about a man called Aloysius Dawson?
Who doesn't know the man? I think he intervened personally to put an end to the police strike of last August.
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloysius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and influential man who could commit murder and get away with it, with just one phone call.
Goodbye, Detective Inspector Albright.
Goodbye, Dr. Jonathan Reid. I'm sure we'll talk again soon. Too many murders to investigate them all, but they will not be forgotten.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reid. Can I be of assistance?
Dr. Reid? Dr. Reid?
Is there anything wrong?
No, it's just... your name sounds familiar. And your face. Have we met before?
I think I would remember. So I suppose the answer is no.
That's odd. I'm certain I've already heard of you. My name is Pericles Baker. Does that mean anything to you?
I'm afraid not, sir. But it's a pleasure to meet you anyway.
The pleasure is mine, I guess. I only wish I could remember when it was that we met.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Baker. What are you doing out here in the middle of the night?
We are waiting. Waiting for someone.
And why are you waiting for this person?
Because we need to leave this city. As soon as possible.
Why do you want to leave the city?
I'm not really sure.
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
I'm afraid I do. I knew we should have left London.
I don't want to appear tactless, but you're risking your health by remaining outside at this hour of night.
Says the doctor who also works outside at night. But as always, the imprudent person enjoys the company of their fellows.
Can you tell me anything about this district?
As you like asking questions so much, would you allow me to ask you one first?
Please, be my guest.
Do you like this city?
I don't know. I was born and raised in London, but I feel like a stranger here recently.
You didn't answer my question, sir. But I don't blame you. Perhaps it's better that way.
And what do you do, sir? For a living, that is.
I stopped working when I decided to leave. When I realized what I wanted. Wanted something this city can't provide.
But what were you doing before you took this decision?
Does it really matter anymore? Considering the past seems so pointless to me. I have lived in this city all my life. And now I think it's over.
Tell me more about why you want to leave London, then.
I just don't belong here anymore. I had to convince my brother to leave London because I know we need to find another life out of the city.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
I've heard this is a man who has searched for his place in the world for a long time. I hope he found it.
Goodbye, Mr. Baker. Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jonathan Reid. Do you need my help?
Yes, please. Would you be kind enough to tell me what the time is?
That's all you need to know.
Well, is it not important to know? As important as where you are? Or who you are?
I suppose you're right. And who are you then, sir?
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother, I think we need to leave this city immediately. And my brother and I rarely agree on anything.
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
Indeed. I've never been good at explaining my feelings, but I can tell when my body is hurting me.
You have nothing to be worried about. You should recover by taking this.
Sounds so easy to fight disease. Too bad it's not the same making people smile again.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
You should ask that question to my brother instead. Personally, I've not seen Aloysius for many years.
May I ask why you've not gone already, if you're so exasperated by this long wait?
I believe fear is holding us back. My brother would have said it's laziness, but it's just because he's prouder than I am.
May I ask what you're doing outside at this hour of night?
I don't know. You should ask my brother instead. It was his idea in the first place.
You must have your own ideas.
From what I have managed to understand, I guess we're supposed to wait here. Waiting for someone to come.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's the only place I've considered myself happy. Or at least that's what I believe. Unfortunately, it's time to leave.
Why is that?
Because I'm not feeling happy here anymore. Are you?
I still enjoy living in London, no matter how difficult it can be sometimes.
Then I am sincerely happy for you. True happiness in life seems to be the most difficult goal to reach these days.
What can you tell me about your brother?
He's older than me, I think. But the important thing is that I really hope I'll die before him. Grief would just kill me, you know?
Is that all?
Pericles is very attached to this city, and without my insistence, he would never leave this place. We don't often agree on anything, you see?
Who are you waiting for, exactly?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not exactly a person we are waiting for.
But what else could it be, then?
I don't know. A feeling? An event? An impulse? How can I tell? Something that would allow us to leave this trap.
I'm afraid I'm not following you. What kind of trap are you talking about?
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a role that does not fit you? That you are not in your place? That sort of trap.
Trap? And you think leaving London will free you?
At least it will give us the chance to be free. That's more than our present situation. Hope, Doctor. Hope is what truly drives mankind.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Baker.
Truc de plus, toi.
Good evening, Mr. Baker.
Why do I always have feelings of déjà vu when I talk to you?
Pericles, tell me why your brother disagrees with your presence here.
Agamemnon is naive sometimes. Although don't consider him a fool, sir. He is often more lucid than me.
At least you both have the same difficulty explaining what you're doing, and for what reason.
But is that not a common problem for all mortals?
What can you tell me about your brother?
If you are searching for a pleasant chat, you should speak with him instead of wasting your time with me. He's always been the more gentle of us.
That's it? That's all you can tell me about him?
For the time being. True kindness is the most valuable quality, my good sir.
C'est quoi? Ils ont volé quelque chose?
Who are you waiting for? I'm sure he has a name.
I really can't answer that question, since I don't know that person.
And why is that?
This person is mostly my brother's acquaintance. I don't even know his real name. Only that this man could help us leave this city once and for all.
But why would you need this person's help to leave London anyway?
Well, I thought we should have left this cursed place already, but my brother convinced me to stay a while longer, and here we are.
Goodbye, Mr. Baker.
Hello again, Dr. Reid.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Baker.
Bon, ça y est. On a fini avec les deux frangins.
Of a sun, so many signs to interpret. Cards never lie, but they are never easy to read.
Le crime du savoir perdu. Les vampires sont dangereux, mortellement dangereux et parfois vicieux, c'est un fait, et je ne le nie pas. C'est précisément pour cette raison que nous devons comprendre ce qu'ils sont, et parfois ce qu'ils font. Et parfois ce qu'ils sont, afin d'améliorer notre compréhension mutuelle. Bizarre, cette phrase. Bref. Souvenez-vous que cet entretien avec Titus Flavius Josephus, réalisé en 1548 par l'un des nôtres, lorsqu'il avait fini par rencontrer cette créature en Espagne. Vous rappelez-vous comment chacun de ces mots, soigneusement choisis par ce vampire, nous réchauffait le cœur à chaque fois que nous les lisions, car ils étaient des fenêtres exceptionnelles sur un passé dont nous n'avions que des brides. Eh bien, Titus Flavius Josephus n'est plus. Les chasseurs du Vatican l'ont détruit il y a quelques semaines. Avec lui disparaissent les trésors de savoir inconnus sur les piliers de notre civilisation. C'est un crime probablement aussi atroce que le meurtre d'un innocent par un vampire. C'est pour cette raison que la voie empruntée par la garde de Préwen est aussi criminelle que stérile. En effet, à chaque fois qu'ils mènent à bien une de leurs chasses méthodiques aux anciens vampires d'Angleterre, au lieu de les aborder avec prudence et respect, ils détruisent une partie de nos racines communes avec ces immortels et ils anéantissent l'opportunité de leur leur grande chasse est un crime car ils tuent aveuglément les mots et les pensées. Issu de Boire à la fontaine du savoir par Toltré, primat de la confrérie de l'Étoile de Saint-Paul. On est où?
Perhaps London will survive the epidemic,
Ah,
but I see terrible trials awaiting in the future.
ouais. Allez, on parle avec lui.
Jonathan Reid. At last we meet.
Je
Cards
fatire.
warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they tell me everything. They told me that you struggle hard not to take too many lives.
Do you require medical attention?
If you don't mind.
You'll feel better after taking this.
Thank you very much. I feel better already.
Alors,
Is there anything you could tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Aloysius Dawson. Yes, of course. We met on several occasions. With time, he got deeper and deeper into the occult.
He's not the only one. It's been quite the fashion for several decades. The Golden Dawn, for instance, is just one example.
True. Aloysius was a member of the Golden Dawn until 1900. Then his thirst for dark knowledge grew. I'm talking forbidden texts, readings which blackened his heart.
Can you read the cards for me?
Are you sure you want to know what they will reveal?
Yes, I am.
It will cost you 150 shillings.
ah, comment il m'arnaque.
Here is the money.
The alchemist, a wise and cunning mind who lives by lying to all but himself. He sells false promises and is proud of it.
Ouais.
What can you tell me about the neighborhood?
I really don't know. I don't often go outside. And when I do, it's usually to quite distant destinations.
So you see nothing in the stars for me? You're a poor fortune teller, then?
Oh, I can tell you many things, but they will only concern you, not the city. For example, I know that you offered your sister the final rest she asked for.
Do the cards speak of my Mary?
No. It's the burning aura of guilt that precedes you everywhere you go.
Read my fortune, then.
You have been chosen, Jonathan. I see on you the mark of a strong being, so powerful it needn't even reveal its strength.
Tell me about yourself. What do you do here, besides turning cards in the middle of the night?
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stole.
Some believe you to be a vampire. Who?
The guard of Priwen, who else? For a time, they sent spies to observe my activities, and they even broke into my home to gather proof.
Did they steal anything from you?
A personal notebook they quickly took to their headquarters. All they had to do is to look at me. I'm aging. What better and definite proof that I'm not an immortal?
Do you want your notebook back?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad to have it back, of course. I do ask one thing, though. Do not read it, Jonathan. Some secrets are not meant to be revealed, even to immortals.
For how long have you been a primate?
It was 15 years last year.
What do you make of Dr. Swansea?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated man. A man of his time, sometimes a little muddled, but always looking for new paths and new concepts.
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
All right. Let me hear it.
The walls of your prison have already been raised, Jonathan. But you will freely accept to be locked inside, full of hope for a better day.
I would rather not know. How did you learn about Mary? And spare me the hocus-pocus parlor tricks. The truth, now!
Swansea told me. Don't look at me like that. His task is to observe and gather information about vampires. He had to tell me about Mary.
She was no longer the sister I knew. She had changed. Hateful and bitter. She was determined to destroy our entire family.
She returned as a force of evil, Jonathan. In putting an end to her misery, you also protected many innocent souls.
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
May I ask you about the Brotherhood?
Of course. But I must warn you that there are some subjects we consider taboo, in spite of our fondness and acceptance of your kind.
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of Priwen and the Brotherhood. What caused this rift?
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then, a strength that made them hungry for ever greater power. An argument divided them, and the wound never healed.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not always fairly or with consideration.
Who founded the Brotherhood?
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer. It is delicate, and may reveal some of our secret traditions.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars?
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
Aïe, aïe, aïe. C'est bon, là, j'ai tout fait.
Goodbye, sir. Until we meet again.
I rarely wander. Yet it amuses me to converse with your kind. A red river, a song in the dark, the whispers of a sun. So many signs to interpret.
Attends. Dans le sens.
It's locked.
Oh pitié, ça tombe bien. On va quand même le fouiller. Tout est à fond. J'ai pas encore utilisé du tout ça. Du coup, une petite sieste. Et après, du coup, on s'arrêtera là. On fera la suite demain. Et voilà, voilà. Hop. Et on s'arrête là. Donc, au revoir YouTube, merci d'avoir regardé. Je vous souhaite une bonne fin de journée, prenez soin de vous, bye bye et à la prochaine vidéo.